I'm filming. I'm making a film.
I'm sorry, how are you?
How's the way?
See ya.
How are you? Good.
All right.
Thank you for everything.
That's it. Thank you.
Nice shirt.
John.
Definitely need some in the wedges.
You not have the wedges at all? Not here. Just the wedge. Ready? Just show you. Yeah, 1, 2, 2, 2. Good. Hey, Hey, Jack, you get that? It's literally coming through there, right? Okay.
I'm out and about here in New York City, hitting all these locations that were important to Anthrax early in our career, way back in the day, and of course, maybe none more important than Megaforce Records. Now, of course, this isn't the original Megaforce office. That all started in Johnny Z's house in Old Bridge, New Jersey, when we first hooked up. And if you've been watching the episodes, you know we harassed him at the International House of Pancakes with the demos, and he said we were a huge pain in the ass, which we were, admittedly. And but hey, we got a deal, right? You know, we were with Megaforce early on, and then we signed our deal with Island, and we were with Elektra, and but we came back to Megaforce, I believe, for the Worship Music record, right? That's when we reconnected with Megaforce here in North America, and it's just been an amazing experience. Of course, Johnny's not the head of Megaforce anymore. That's Missy Colazzo, who actually worked for us back in the 80s at Megaforce and crazed the management when they were managing us as well. One of the biggest supporters of Anthrax for what? How many decades now?
3.
No, more than that. 80s, 90s, probably
4.
2000s, 2000 teens, and now 2020s. 5 decades going into 5 decades of working together. How's that? It's pretty amazing. Oh wait, here's something interesting. Look, tapes. Do we have any Anthrax in here?
Yes.
Where? You can
There's
talk,
those.
okay?
There's those. Those are the which record is this? It's the Scrap 60. Is that We've Come For You All?
Yes. I guess, yeah, this would be We've Come For You All. We've Come For You All 2-inch masters. Scrap 60. So that was, oh wait, here's Pyramid. What's this Pyramid? Anthrax. Back a long time ago, we used to record albums on 2-inch tape. 24 tracks, that was a thing back then. You'd book a studio and you'd say, we're going into a 24-track studio. And 2-inch tape, that's something you don't see very often. If Johnny had decided that day in the IHOP that he didn't want to sign the band and we weren't ready and we weren't good enough, you know, maybe we would have gotten a deal somewhere else at one of the labels that was, you know, I like to think maybe Brian Slagle would have picked us up early on, but it all worked out. Hey, look, here's our Anthrax 3-inch turntables that we did for Record Store Day. From what I've been told, 3-inch vinyl sounds incredible. Overkill stuff, Raven Live. There's more Anthrax. Overkill. Violence. Wow. There's more in the closet. Here's more Anthrax.
Like most of the Anthrax stuff are all the mixed down tapes.
Oh yeah, I see over here a lot of Anthrax. Oh yeah, look at this. Wow, you got a lot of bottles of this stuff.
I bought a bunch.
Yeah.
So that we had them for like
Awesome.
promo.
It's almost all the whiskeys we've done with Hill Rock. Here's the first one, the Healer, the bourbon. Then there's Evil Twin 1, the first rye we did. And do you have any? I don't see an Evil Twin 2. This rye is so good. This nondescript looking weird building here on the Bowery, 331 Bowery to be exact, just a block north of CBGB's, was a club called the Great Gildersleeves. And back at that same time, late 70s into the early 80s, just as many bands, you know, that whole New York punk and new wave scene, all the bands were playing here too at Gildersleeves. It tends to get forgotten because I think it closed around 84. So it didn't really have the heyday like CBGB's had, but also a very important club. I'm not here to give you the history of New York City rock venues, but why I'm standing here is Anthrax played their first ever New York City gig, which was really, really a big deal when you were from Queens. The whole goal was to get into the city. If you could play in Manhattan, like that's the big time, right? So this was Great Gildersleeves, and we played here August 19th, 1982. Somehow, I don't even remember, we must have came in with a demo, and we got to play here. August 19th, 1982, we played Gildersleeves. I would say if maybe there was 30 people there, I don't know, but it didn't matter because we were in the city and we had made it. We were like, that's it, we made it. Next stop, Madison Square Garden. What you see here is what used to be CBGB. A black awning right over there. Now, of course, it's a John Varvatos clothing store. Has been for many years, but it used to be CBGB, one of the best rock, punk, hardcore clubs in the world, right? So many bands played here, discovered here in the 70s, but that's not what I'm here to talk about. My time at CBGB's was between some point in 84 through some point probably in 87 when I started going to the hardcore matinees on Sunday. They had a whole bunch of hardcore bands playing on Sunday afternoons, the hardcore matinees. And I started coming in 84. First show I ever saw was at Agnostic Front show, and it changed my life. And you know, we weren't touring a lot back then yet, so I was home a lot. And if I was home, I was here on a Sunday to see the shows. And I mean, I got to see everybody back then, from Agnostic Front, all the great New York hardcore bands, Murphy's Law and the Cro-Mags, and Adrenaline Overdose and the Crumbsuckers and Sheer Terror and Death Before Dishonor. And I mean, I'm forgetting so many bands. But yeah, those Sunday afternoons were really special. And I mean, this is literally where you'd stand out here because everybody would come outside between the bands and hang out because it was hot as fuck in there. And you'd come outside, hang out, and then go back in when the band would come on. And me and my buddies would like just kind of hang over here on the periphery and just hang out and, you know, wait for the next band to go on and go back in and get up front and have fun. Yeah, you know, that part of my life, those shows, those hardcore shows, and that time was just hugely important and influential and really special, and something I still think about quite a bit all these years later. Some of the best shows I've ever seen were right inside that fancy clothing store. One of the most argued things in New York City, of course, is where is the best pizza. And I would agree that if you're talking about a pie, there's so many great spots. But if you're talking about just going for a slice, there's nothing better than Joe's. And you're wondering, well, why is he talking about pizza and what the fuck does this have to do with metal? Well, this spot, been coming to this spot, I mean, forever. Pretty much after every show I've been to in Manhattan, every late night after being out, this is where you end up, with a couple of slices out here on Carmine Street. Even back in the 80s, we would play L'Amour's or go to, I'd point over there, because I guess it is kind of that way. But we would play L'Amour's or be at L'Amour's for shows, and then instead of going straight back to Queens, come into the city to make a pit stop at Joe's for a slice at 4 o'clock in the morning or whatever, and then head back to Queens to go to bed. Yeah, you could say Joe's has fed Anthrax for decades. Thank you, Joe's. I'm on 8th Street here in Greenwich Village between 5th and 6th Avenue in front of the legendary Electric Lady Studios, where, you know, we were privileged enough to get to work back in the 80s. I don't know why I said privileged, because you had the money to pay for the studio, you could work here. But yeah, we did State of Euphoria. We did a lot of that record here. We mixed it here, that's for sure. I think we might have done the whole album here. And then Persistence of Time was also mixed here at Electric Lady with Thompson and Barbiero. Yeah, it was amazing working in this place. The big live room downstairs is incredible. It has all the original Hendrix murals up down there that he had commissioned, and upstairs was the apartment that he had lived in way back when. And yeah, just, you know, listen to those records, and I can hear this place on those records. We were really excited, of course, as New Yorkers, to get to work here, because I had been hanging out on this street, on 8th Street, since probably the late 70s, when I first started coming down to the city myself, you know, with my friends. Like when I was like 15, 16, we would come and hang out on 8th Street, because there was loads of good record stores around here and great places to buy t-shirts and magazines, comics, and printed. Other than Electric Lady, I don't know if there's one place left on this whole block from then. But yeah, you know, we pass this place all the time. you'd see Kiss like walking in and out of here if you were lucky, walking by at some point. Yeah, amazing, legendary place. Still here, still going, and I guess that's someone's coming out. Anyway, yeah, Electric Lady Studios, another key spot in New York City in the history of Anthrax. Forbidden Planet here on 12th Street and Broadway. This was my comic book shop back in the day. Granted, it's in a different about a block away from where it was. But yeah, this was the spot, man. I started coming here in the 80s and would get all my books here. When we first went to, my first time ever in England was 1984 when I was there doing some promo for Fistful of Metal. And that's where I discovered Judge Dredd for the first time in the 2000 AD. And I was able to, sorry brother. Let me start again. First time I ever went to London was in 1984, and that's where I discovered Judge Dredd in the 2000 AD. And man, I picked up a stack of them when I was over there at Forbidden Planet, across the seas. I get home here and find out, it's not so easy to get 2000 AD. So my buddy who worked at Forbidden Planet, because nobody was really asking for it here except for me, saying, I need Judge Dredd. And they started getting them in, basically, I think, because of me, because I was very annoying about it and hassled them until they started getting 2000 AD, and I would be able to get my Dredd fix. So yeah, another important part of Anthrax's history right here, or maybe specifically one song in our history. Why would you have a scooter that loud? Anyway, Forbidden Planet. Here on 11th Street downtown with Webster Hall behind me, which was also known as the Ritz back in the 80s and 90s. And man, this was one of those places, like I had mentioned about playing Gildersleeves earlier, like, oh man, if we could just get a gig in the city, and we played Gildersleeves. But the Ritz was kind of like the Mecca, because you'd go and play L'Amour's in Brooklyn, and that was kind of like, that was the metal capital. But the goal was to get here and play the Ritz, because then you were coming into Manhattan and you were playing, a room that held like 1,500 people, and there wasn't a lot of metal bands playing here yet. They would do punk shows and hardcore shows, but not much metal going on. And it was like our dream to get to play this stage. We had already been coming to see so many shows here when we were younger, and then finally, I believe it was like early '85, we headlined here for the first time and just had an insane gig, and then probably did it 3-4 times over the years. I do believe it was a show that we did. That show, spring of '85, was when we officially got signed to Island Records. Was after the Ritz gig. It went off. It was incredible. Also a famous SOD show here in December of '85 with Motorhead headlining. It was Motorhead, Wendy O. Williams, SOD, and the Cro-Mags. We considered it our Christmas show, and we kind of decked out the stage with Christmas-looking stuff. I think Billy might have come out as Santa at some point, and man, that was a crazy night. And of course, getting to play with Motorhead back in the day was incredible. Yeah, this is seminal New York venue, man. The Ritz. Saw so many incredible shows here. From the Bad Brains to who? Metallica. Who?
Slayer.
Yeah, Slayer. I mean, everybody played this room. And if you're a film buff like me and you watch Raging Bull, a lot like I do, you'll see the scene where they come and they come to the club and they sit inside, and then Jake LaMotta gets in a fight and they piles out onto the street and all that. Anyway, or is it Pesci's character? I can't remember right now. But anyway, that happened right there. Scorsese shot that right there. But yeah, the old Ritz, Webster Hall, about to reopen again. Finally, live music is back. Most famous arena in the world, Madison Square Garden. And in 1991, Anthrax got to headline there. I mean, that truly is the Mecca, not only for a band from New York, but I think a lot of bands all around the planet. You know, the idea of getting to play the Garden is a big fucking deal. So yeah, obviously grew up going to shows there since I was a kid. Of course, seeing Kiss there in December of '77, December 14th, 1977 to be exact, and left that show on a path that I still, to this day, have not strayed from. And of course, that was, I wanted to be in a band, and that's what I was going to do with my life. And of course, I'm still doing that. And so that moment happened for me in that building. And then in '91, on the Clash of the Titans tour, we got to headline that night in front of, you know, up till that point, it had to be the biggest metal show, like real biggest metal show in New York City ever. Sold out Madison Square Garden. And to make it even more special for us, we had Chuck D and Flavor Flav come on stage as a surprise that night for our encore. First time we ever performed Bring the Noise live. And we had whatever that place held, 18,000 hardcore metalheads lose their fucking minds when Chuck D and Flavor Flav hit the stage with us. It was literally, maybe not literally, but you know the old expression, raise the roof? It absolutely raised the roof off that building. It was fucking insane. So, yeah, historical. And if you look just a little bit to the right, where it's now called the Hulu Theater, that used to be called the Felt Forum. It's like the theater size venue at the Garden, and we actually played there a couple of years before we played the Garden proper. We headlined Felt Forum 2 nights on Headbangers Ball Tour in '89. So it was like we came really close to touching the greatness of the Garden. We did 2 nights at Felt Forum. We were kind of like, God, we're doing 2 nights here. Why aren't we just doing the Garden? They're like, you know, one of these days, kid, you'll play the big room. And in '91 we got to do it, and still to this day, what an unbelievable memory. And yeah, the hallowed ground of Madison Square Garden. Can't wait to get back there again one of these days.
What's up? I'm Abe from Deftones, and on behalf of myself and the dudes in my band, we want to wish you guys and congratulate you on 40 years, man. 40 years of rocking, thrashing, and being tight as a nun's.
What an amazing career you guys have had. Looking forward to what's coming next. Love you guys personally, and I can't. I'm actually gonna have to listen to this today. Happy anniversary, 40 years. What a run! You guys are awesome, and I hope to see you soon at the restaurants.
Thank you for being my friends. Thank you for being an awesome band, and the world is awesome because you guys are in it, man.
I think if someone were to ask me, what's your favorite album, what's your favorite song, I'd just be like, no, there's no way. There's no way. When I think about you guys and what makes you guys my favorite heavy metal band of all time is your influence. Your influence on me as a musician, the musicians around me, how you helped metal go off into different like subgenres, and just your unending ability to just have the creative freedom to do whatever the hell you want.
We've toured together many times over the years. Behind me, the Big Four, of course, a huge moment for all of us in our genre, but also Jägermeister Music Tour, probably one of the pinnacle for thrash metal back in the 90s, of course, was Clash of the Titans in 1991. So great to call my friends in Anthrax, lifelong friends, and I'm glad that we've grown up together, glad we're still here, and I wish you well for as many more years, hopefully 40, that we can keep doing this together, and thank you for all your success and your inspiration to me.
Anthrax, Anthrax, Anthrax. I love the name. I love you guys. I love your music. You guys are some of the pioneers of thrash metal, and you guys do it well. I remember going on tour with you guys, and thank you for taking us on tour with you. We had so much fun. I mean, we had, shoot, what can I say? But, hey, man, 40 years, that's a long time. Proud of you guys. And maybe have 40 more.
To Scott, Frankie, Charlie, Joey, and everybody that's either been in or associated with this band over the past 40 years, I just want to offer a heartfelt congratulations. What a tremendous accomplishment that is, and what an amazing career that is. And the incredible part to me is that it doesn't feel like it's anywhere near the end. This band is revitalized. This band over the past several years just feels like it's got a whole new lease on life, and there's more to come, and I look forward to seeing what that is. And I thank you for allowing me into your circle and to have played whatever small part in it I have. It's been an honor for me and a pleasure. So congrats, and here's to the next 40 years.
It's always really crowded on stage when Anthrax plays, with
That's
other
for sure.
bands watching them.
Including you and I.
Yeah.
Happy 40, man.
I don't know about another 40 years, but your story's not done. You guys are relevant as ever. We fucking love you guys. Happy anniversary.
Frankie Bello and I both share a passion for golf. And on our days off, occasionally Frankie and I would hit the links, and we'd go play some golf together. And I believe we were in Nashville. I believe we were in Tennessee on a day off on tour. And our lighting guy, Mike Gargano, who we call Neg, came out with us, played, we're on our way to the golf course in a taxi cab in Nashville, outside of Nashville. And we're driving down the road. I'm in the front seat. Frankie and our lighting guy, Mike, are in the back seat. And we get into a head-on collision at a traffic light with another car. Thankfully, we were all okay. We were a bit shaken up, of course, as you can imagine. But, of course, these three crazy guys, myself included, we ended up going and playing golf anyway. So it just goes to show you, nothing could stop Anthrax, Life of Agony. Nothing could stop us, man. We're just warriors.
Anthrax, wow. First off, I love everybody in the band. They've been nothing but gentlemen every time I've seen them, and always an incredible, amazing show. But I do have a story. Joey, we got a call, and Joey, we're out recording the album in Jersey, and Joey came out. He wanted to hear the finishing product, and we could not believe that he really wanted to listen to it. We heard from a few of the guys in the band in Anthrax that Joey always plays Seven Dust before he goes on, and it's driving us crazy, which I thought was cool, and I couldn't believe it. And to hang out with him and to listen to our album in its entirety and him give advice and his praise was incredible, and it turned out to be just someone that I look up to very highly, and I love him. I love all the guys, but Joey definitely, me being a singer, is just someone that I definitely admire, and it's just really cool. I still got a million more stories, but that was one of the good ones, to sit down beside him and listen to the album and be touched and be moved. I love you, Anthrax. God bless to 100 million more years. Peace.
Happy anniversary, Anthrax. 40 years. Wow, that must mean we were a year old when you came out. Anyway, I was. Thanks for taking me on your journey and, giving me my plaque.
God bless you, my friends. 40 years is unbelievable. And you, all of you in good shape, even better. Peace.
Hey guys, bet you're surprised to see me. This is your old pal, Steve Lukather, an Anthrax fan. I want to say happy 40th to you, Joey, and Scott and all the guys. And I hope I run into you again somewhere, man. 40 years, it's tough to hang in there. I got 5 years on you, but we're in this together, brother. Love the music, and God bless you all.
Hello, Anthrax. It's your 40th anniversary, which is pretty impressive. I'd just like to wish you all the best. It's been great having you on tour with us. That time on the plane was just pretty fantastic. The boys want to pass on their best wishes, and here's to 40 more.
Happy 40th year anniversary to Anthrax. From Agnostic Front to you guys, we love you.
Wish you guys all the best on your 40th anniversary. All the guys in Overkill, we know what it's like to be around for 40 years as well. It's not an easy thing to do. You guys just keep getting better and killing it. Every time I see you guys, I just saw you on the ship a little while ago, and it was the same shit. It was like, that's fucking killer. It's just a great band.
Congratulations, Anthrax.